Good morning. This is Adrian, one of the pastors at Twin Lakes Church, joining you for this morning's devotional. I love my kids. We have two daughters, Ella and Penelope. Ella's 10, Penelope is 7. And something I've noticed with siblings is they love to fight. And man, they'll be upstairs and I will hear what sounds like the Lion King, lions eating wildebeests, and a battle's going on up there. And they're fighting like cats and dogs, and sometimes I just can't take it. It's over and over the, smallest things. But what's very interesting with them and with kids in general is once they fight and they're mad about something and they argue and, they come and they start, blaming each other for stuff. She said this, then she punched me, then she poked me, then she stabbed me, and then she burned down the room. And that's what happens, They'll, go through all that and we'll talk to them about it. We'll, kind of help them reconcile. In our house, they have to ask for forgiveness, and the other person has to acknowledge and offer forgiveness, accept apologies, thank you for saying sorry, that kind of thing. A lot of times they reluctantly do it, but what's really funny is after they go through that, probably a minute goes by and then they're playing again. They're like, all right, that's over. You want to go play outside on the swings? If only adults were more like that, or we forgive each other and we move on. But so many times we're not like that. I think it's the reason why in Matthew chapter 18, when the disciples say, hey, Jesus, who's going to be the greatest in the kingdom? They're always asking about, their status and stuff like that. This is how Jesus responds to them. He says, Jesus called a little child to him and put the child among them. So, he gets these kids and, a lot of times the disciples are trying to, push the kids away. It's like, get out of here. Jesus is too important for you. And he brings the child in the middle of them. And then he says, I tell you the truth, unless you turn from your sins and become like little children, you will never get into the kingdom of heaven. Verse 4, so anyone who becomes as humble as this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Later on in this chapter, Jesus talks about forgiveness and how we should be forgiving. It's what we're talking about this weekend at Twin Lakes Church, how God is forgiving and how he calls us to be forgiving. And I think a key aspect of how, as Christians, we can be forgiving is to remember Jesus' words right here, and is to become like a child. And after you offer forgiveness or are forgiven, you just move on. I encourage you to come back this weekend. We're going to dive deep into God's forgiveness, what that looks like, and what our forgiveness of each other should look like. And I'll tell you what, we need more and more of that today. I invite you to come back to our services Saturday night at 6 p.m. or Sunday morning at 9 a.m. indoors here on campus. Masks are required for those services. And then our outdoor service at 11 a.m. Masks are optional. I invite you to come to any of those or join us on our live stream at tlc.org/live. We hope to see you this weekend. Have a great day. God bless.